I'm Julia.
I'm James. I'm David.
I'm Tara, and we've created Cleash pouches.
Oh, sorry about
We
that.
forgot the clicker. Meet Lucy and her dog. Lucy's a very active dog owner, and she lives in this house in Barrington. This house does not have a fenced-in yard. And Lucy is a very adventurous type of person. She loves going out to different places. So her house tends to be very messy, and so she has a hard time finding where she last placed her dog leash. So first I'd like to ask, how many of you have a dog at home? Okay, so most of you can relate to these problems that Lucy struggles with. So first, Lucy loves going on off-leash walks, but she hates carrying the dog leash. And Lucy has a very energetic dog, and so when a dog sees the dog leash, she has a hard time leashing up the dog. And then Lucy also loves meeting dog owners, but they struggle with like the leashes getting tangled, and it's always a very awkward situation. So that's why we created Cleash pouches, which is a pouch that has a retractable dog leash inside, and it clasps onto small to medium-sized dog collars.
Our total addressable market was calculated to be at $64 billion. This is the total market for pet accessories across the U.S. according to Statista. Our serviceable addressable market was calculated to be at $1.9 million. This is if we sold to the 64,000 people in the Barrington area at a unit price of $30, we'd get $1.9 million. However, we realized we would not be able to sell to all these people, so we estimated we'd sell to roughly 2.5% of them, which would give us a market share value of $48,000. One of our indirect competitors is the tug leash pictured on the left. The tug leash is a leash that retracts out of the hand, whereas the leash retracts out of the dog. Retracting out of the dog offers two big benefits, which are convenience and control over the dog. The Night Eyes leash is our direct competitor. The Night Eyes leash is similar to Cleash in the fact that it also retracts out of the dog. However, it has a very skinny, not very durable leash, and it's only 3 feet long. This results in very uncomfortable walks, and only small dogs can use that leash. Our leash is more durable, and it is longer, so you'll have a more comfortable walk, and you'll also be able to use it on more types of dogs.
All right, so let's talk marketing. So we're focusing on more digital advertisements, and for example, Instagram is one of our big hitters. And we can, for instance, pay $1 a day or $30 a month and get 4,000 to 10,000 impressions, and that's just the start of it. And we know we're not getting 10,000 signups, 10,000 purchases, but it's still great nonetheless to get awareness out. And we can always increase the amount because $1 a day is like nothing, and we can always go up. And the important thing about our advertisements is where it's going to bring them, which would be to our Instagram page or our website. And so this is going to be, like for our Instagram page, for instance, sorry if it's a little small, but that's an example of what it would look like on your phone. And so you're going to be able to find any news, product developments, and most importantly, where you're going to buy it. And you can buy it in 2 different ways. So in person, we could go to dog parks or dog events, set up a tent or a booth. That's more of a minimal way to make sales. But the other way is we could eventually get this into stores, and obviously a little slim pouch is great to put on the shelves, you know, behind the register. It'd be great to get nice other easy sales. But the most important one is our online sales. And so obviously online, we're going to have our own website, and we're going to be able to get all the return from our own website. But everyone knows that we got to sell through Amazon too. And so later on, we're going to sell through Amazon, of course, but that's when we're more prepared to supply all the inventory and more prepared to handle customer complaints and any kind of repair.
So moving on to our materials cost, we plan on spending 13 cents for our socket snap fasteners, 3 cents for our black nylon fabric, 4 cents for our thread, and we spoke to Hannah from Coastal Pet Pro Manufacturers, and she mentioned that for our main mechanism, which is inside the pouch, it would be $3.50, coming down to a total of $4.37 for our materials. And according to global sources, the average cost for manufacturing a dog leash is $1.90. And currently we are sewing them by hand, but we're consistently calling manufacturers trying to get someone to sew our product. And our shipping cost would be 99 cents, which comes down to a total for our cost of goods sold per unit to be $7.27. So we plan on selling our product at a set price of $30 per unit, which we got through interviews with potential customers and our prototype users, and they both agreed that $30 was the best price. And then our cost of goods is $7.26, which equals a gross margin of $22.74. Then that gives us a gross profit percentage of 75.8%. And we plan on selling in year one 540 dog leashes, which gives us a gross profit of $12,800. And in year 5, we plan on selling 8,600 leashes, and that will give us a profit of $204,000. And our net profit for year 1 would be about $6,800, and year 5 it would be about $55,000.
So our original plan for you is that we promised you that we would engage or contact 250 dog owners, and we were planning on giving out 10 trial prototypes. So what we did is, we've contacted 3,030 people, and these people were mainly, 2,900 were in the Barrington area, and 130 of them were through Instagram, which caused us to actually gain customers or potential customers all over the country and as well internationally. So only 11% of the people who we emailed or gave our website link to, only 11% actually viewed our website, and 9% of them actually signed up for our mailing list. And with the people in our mailing list, we sent them monthly email reminders of just all of our process that we've done with our company, and then also if there's with the survey to see if they're still interested in purchasing our Cleash. So we've also had a total of 18 dog testers, and this is our improvements for our original. So if you can see on the far left, that is our first Cleash that we ever created. And when we gave it to a tester, they said that they did not like how the handle would be in the front of the pouch, and they thought that the material was a little bit was not as durable as they would like. And then for our second prototype, we decided to move the leash to the side of the pouch, and then we decided to make a different fabric, or use a different fabric. And the only problem with this one is that our fabric was it kept fraying and falling apart easily. So we decided to finally find a fabric, and that is the fabric that we are currently using today. And most of our pouches are actually in our focus groups, but the only problem that we have with this one that we've gotten from our focus groups is that our leash itself is a little bit too thin, and they would prefer a more durable or more thicker leash because it is better for a bigger dog, which our target audience was originally medium to large dogs, and this caused us to change our audience to small to medium dogs, because that would make it better. So you gave us $500, and of the $500, we've only spent $261, mainly on our prototype, and then also a little bit on our website. So for our SG&A expenses, we plan on spending $160 on our legal, $1,270 on our marketing, and $6,200 on our startup inventory. So our pre-money valuation is $30,000, and our post-money is $39,000. Today, we are asking for $9,100. $8,100 would go towards our startup costs, and the other $1,000 would be for our liquidity cushion, just in case we have any other expenses that we would need. So we are offering you 23.2% of our company with a 5.7 money multiple. So this would mean in 5 years, you would receive $40,000 from us. In 5 years, we plan on selling our company to Night Eyes, which is one of our direct competitors, because we believe that we have a very similar target audience and customers to them, and we would be selling it to them for a 2-time money multiple and for 60% of our company. Thank you, and keep your dog leashed up with Cleash.
This is pretty neat. So it stays on the dog at all times outside?
Yeah.
What happens if, let's say you're at a dog park and you're running through maybe there's some bushes or something like that? Can this get caught or other dogs kind of pull on it? Or is there a way to catch it maybe there when you
Yeah.
let go?
We were thinking about adding some changes to it where we would put a clip on the handle so then it would wrap around and like click back to the leash.
Well, Josh, a couple things. First of all, I like the way you continually invested in the product and making it better and developing it. And I'm sure you got a lot of opportunity to make it, to improve upon it, and you'll get there. The cost of goods sold at, I think it's $9, you have the material, labor, and shipping. And then you kind of develop the price based upon the cost to get to your 75% gross margin. Is there any other way to price this based upon like what competitors charge?
Yeah, I forgot to mention during my slides that the tub leash is priced around $25 and the Night Eyes is priced around $30 to $35.
Okay, and you're at 21?
30.
30.
You're at 30?
Yeah.
Okay. So right in the neighborhood of what others are charging for. Okay, thank you.
One of the value propositions that you led off with was solving the tangling problem. Can you say a little bit more about why your product directly addresses the tangling problem? It wasn't entirely clear to me.
So when you meet like other dogs and there's like the 2 dogs on the leashes, each
Yep.
dogs get tangled.
Yep.
So with our product, you can just let the leash go and they'll attract in, so they'll just.
Got it. Okay.
I like how you kept evolving the product, and I find it interesting the way you were in search of the right fit for your customer. So rather than customers who have big dogs, you focused on, well, where is this good for? Those little toy dogs, for example. So that's fantastic that you were willing to evolve. In your exit strategy, you noted another company that you were most similar to, but are there other dog accessory companies that you would actually be a complement to?
So we were thinking of also selling our company maybe to PetSmart, but we found that PetSmart is like more of a larger corporation and they like have different like companies go to them. So we were thinking of maybe doing that because it would be good for us to just like sell, because we could like sell more products possibly. But we're still looking into like other companies, but we thought that Night Eyes, because their main focus isn't just on their like dog leash biz, they're more of like an outdoorsy company, so they sell like coats and like just like tons of things for like hikers and just people who love the outdoors.
Okay, I was thinking even more closer in, the dogware company that was founded here, they're more big dogs, and the little toy dogs would never work with their leashes, but maybe together you guys could conquer the dog world, but nicely done.
How many dogs were walked? How many different dogs were walked with the Cleash?
So we have a golden retriever that was like a little, he was like a small, but he was like smaller than normal golden retrievers, and it really worked well for them. And then we also had like a medium size black lab, and it worked for that dog too, but it was just a little bit too thick, they thought, or too thin, they thought. But it mainly worked with like golden doodles or like labradoodles, and that was like who we thought would be a great fit for right now. It was around like 20 dogs tested.
Okay.
James, you mentioned that you could get 4,000 to 10,000 impressions on Instagram
Yeah.
for like $1 a day. And then somebody mentioned we had like 3,030 outreaches. Can you just walk through kind of the outreach funnel? Like you spent how much money and how many impressions you got, and did those impressions convert to your website? Or, you know, what happened downstream? Because you throw out things like, oh, we had 11% views and only, 11% views is great, by the way. And then you had another one, like 9% of those converted. I couldn't get my arms around the funnel of the marketing approach.
So in our testing, we did multiple separate ways of reaching out. So one of the ways is we sent out like a big email blast to like tons of people in the area, and that's where we got a lot of bulk. And we, as far as I'm aware, we haven't started the Instagram ad campaign yet at all. But the research I did, it was like $1 a day, and you can go like way more, or the minimum.
Okay, so the $1 a day and the 4,000 to 10,000 there's no evidence that that's what you had. It was.
Well, that's what Instagram projects. So when you say $1 a day or $30 a month,
Yeah.
it'll say 4,000 to 10,000 impressions a month.
Okay, but you didn't do that. You didn't prove that out. Okay. But the 3,000 was through emails that you
Yes.
sent out, and of those emails, 2,900 I think was one part of the 3,000. You had 11% of those emails actually click on your Instagram page or Facebook page, your website.
Yeah, and so we like direct message people on Instagram, and then one of our posts got a lot of attention, and so that also led a lot of people to view our website through Instagram.
Okay, and so of those 11% that went to the website, 9% of the 11% actually,
Sign up for our list.
okay. And when they signed up, what was the call to action? Just give us your email, or did they pretend like you were buying something and it said, oh, we're out of stock, or?
It was a little bit of both. So what we did is that if you were interested in our product, we had a little like attachment that said, if you're interested in purchasing, sign up for our mailing or for our email list to get notified for more updates. So once they signed up, they would get an automatic email for just like updates, and then we would send these emails monthly just to like know if they're still interested.
So that's 9% of 11% is about 1% of the 3,000, which is, you know, that's actually had some type of call to action to purchase. Okay, that's super helpful. One of the things you may want to do as you continue to do these experiments is make the call to action a little bit of a, like pretend like somebody's buying it, like click to purchase at $30 or $29.95 or whatever it is, and see how many people actually click on it, because then you know that they would have bought, and when they click on it, you say, oh, sorry, we're out of stock. By the way, then they think like this thing is the hottest thing in the world because it's sold out, or, you know, it's marketing, you guys, you don't have to own. You gotta be directionally correct, you are out of stock.
You are technically out of
In
stock.
But that's another way to get more evidence, that, because I don't think people said, oh gosh, if you don't have any, I really don't want to give you my email. Your conversion rate probably suffered from that.
1 minute.
Would you be able to go back to the math on the money multiple for the youngsters? And that was in exchange for a $9,000 investment, is that correct?
81.
So if we give you 9,100 and we get 40,000 back, how is that 5.7 times?
That is just what our financial model said.
Okay.
Last question?
You may want to check the financial model, because it should be basic. 9.1 times 5.7 is 40.
50,000.
Almost
Close to
50.
Oh,
Yeah. So
It may be that you're telling us how much net profit we'll make on the investment.
Oh, wait, yeah, that's,
Okay,
sorry.
okay. That would make a little bit more sense.
Last question?
Are you guys all committed to next year, or where are your heads at on that?
Just three,
And me and Jamin are most likely to.
Okay, the guys are leaving and the girls are staying. I mean, I'm just trying to figure it out.
All right, thank you, guys.
All right, thank you. Good job.